Hello everyone, my name is Wasim and I'm recording this video about logarithms. This is a very basic knowledge that we're going to learn in this video. We're going to have more detailed ones in the next videos. So this is very generic, like how to read a logarithm expression and how to use calculator, to solve these logarithm expressions that we have, and also how to maybe use some basic exponent laws to solve the logarithm equations that we have, like basic expressions, not like any complicated ones. So let's start with the very first one. Here we have a log of some number b with base a. So it's written right there. I'm going to point it with my pointer right here. So this right here. So this means it's a log. We're taking a log of some number b with base a, with base a. Okay, so that's how you're going to read this expression right here. So if we go to a little more, where we put actually the actual numbers instead of the, letters, this would read log of 100 with base 10. Okay, so it's a log of 100 with base 10. Now if we go a little further down, here we have another expression. Here the base is 5 and the number is 125. So we're taking log of 125 with respect to base 5. Base 5. And here we have a log of 81 with the base 3. Okay. So if we look at just, what does it mean, like log of 100 with base 10, or log of 81 with base 3, or log of 125 with base 5. So what the expression is asking us, okay, if we want to know what that exponent is, let's say if we take the log of log of 81 with base 3, basically this is asking us to find out the exponent of 3 that we need to get to 81, okay, which we're going to solve, of course, down there at the video, but this is, what we're really solving for at the end of the day. But make sure, and this particular one is very, we are learning how to just read a logarithm expression, like, log of 81 with base 3. So let me go on to the next slide. Okay, so here we are looking at switching the base of a log expression, okay, and this one I'm just going to show you how to switch it, but then in the next slide I'm going to show you why we do that. So here is a generic formula right here. If we have a expression and we're taking a log of some number with base a, but we want to convert that into a different base, which is some different base, which let's say is c. Basically we take the log of the number with base c, and then we take the log of the base with this new base c. So basically log of b with base a could be written as log of b with some different base, which is c now, divided by log of a, which was the base in your original expression, with this new base c. So this is the way we go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and actually do it here with these three expressions that I have written down. So the first one says we want to find out log of 100 with base 5 if we switch the base to 8 instead of 5. So how do we do that? So we're going to go ahead and write that down. So we have log of 100 with base 5, and we are going to convert the base into 8 now. So we have log of 100 with base 8 divided by log of 5 with base 8. So that's how we switch the base to a new base. So we took the log of 100 with base 5 and converted the base to base 8. So basically we took the log of 100 with new base 8 divided by the log of this 5, which was the base in our original expression, and we took the log of 5 with base 8. Okay, so in the second one, we have this expression right here. We have a log of 100 with base 5, and we want to switch the base to base 10. So I'm going to write it down. So we have log of 100 with base 5. And we're going to go ahead and change the base to base 10. So it's going to be log of 100 with base 10 divided by log of our old base, which is 5 with base 10. So basically these two numbers becomes we take the log of these two with respect to the new base. So log of 100 with base 10 divided by log of 5 with base 10. All right, so now let's go ahead and do this last one. We have a log of 32 with base 2. We want to change the base to 5. So I'm going to write it down. Log of 32 with base 2. This is our original, and we want to switch the base to base 5. So it's going to look at as log of 32 with base 5 divided by log of 2 with base 5. All right, so that's how we go ahead and switch the base to a new base if we have an original expression. So hopefully that would help. And I'm going to move on to the next slide. Here, we're going to switch the base to a standard base 10. Before we're switching to different bases, now we take these expressions and we're going to go ahead and switch that to a standard base 10. And why do we do that? The reason we do that is because your calculator recognizes the base 10. It doesn't have, it doesn't calculate for you if you give a different base. So it's going to give you a wrong answer. Like, for example, in the first one, the log of 125 with base 5, if you want to use your calculator, you can't really do that because your calculator will calculate the log of 125 with base 10 instead of base 5. So we have, since we learned how to switch the bases, we can use that now to switch to a base 10, and then we can plug it into our calculator and solve this log expression. Okay, there are different ways to solve it as well. We're going to learn in the next slide, but right now I'm just going to showing you how to use your calculator to calculate the value of an expression that's given to you. So if we look at this one right here, if we want to switch it to base 10, we have log of 125 with base 10 divided by log of 5 with base 10. So now we switch that, and we can go ahead and put that in our calculator. And remember, there's one more thing I want to tell you, that log 10, base 10 is a standard base. When we have that, we don't need to write log with base 10 anymore. So these two are the same. This is the standard. When we have a base 10, we can actually omit the base, and we can just write the expression without the base 10. So you can go ahead and make this log of 125 divided by log of 5. And then you can put that in calculator and that should get you your answer. But I'm only simplifying this, so I'm not going to solve it. You can go ahead and calculate it in your calculator. So here we are looking at log of 81 with base 10 divided by log of 3 with base 10. And as I said, once we have a base 10, we don't need to write that base. We can just write it as log of 81 over log of 3, because the base 10 is the standard base, and it's understood that base 10 and this is the same, so we don't put the base 10 there anymore. And here we have a log of 125 with base 5. We're going to convert the base to a standard base 10, so it would be log of 125 with base 10 divided by log of 5 with base 10. So this would be log of 125 divided by log of 5. So you put that in your calculator and you can solve the value of this expression. The next one, we're going to do the same thing. To convert that to base 10, we're going to do log of 32 with base 10 divided by log of 2 with base 10. All right. So this is same as log of 32 divided by log of 2. Okay. So the reason we switch the bases is because if we want to use calculator, we have to use a base 10 to evaluate our expression. If you don't do that, you're not going to get the right answer. And we also notice that if you have a base 10, we don't have to write that with the log expression. So it's understood that a base 10, and if you see the log without any base, that means it's using the log, a base 10. Okay. All right. Now we go ahead and move on. Here we're going to use solve these logarithm expressions. Now here we're going to use some exponents rules. Like, as we in the very first slide, I showed you that when we the log is basically you're taking the base and you're raising it to some exponent, and that should be equal to the value of the number. So for example, if you look at this expression right here, basically this expression says you're taking the log of 100 with base 10. That means you're raising this 10 to some exponent, unknown exponent, that gets you 100. So exponent is like, basically you're finding out multiplier of 10. So if we 10 times 10 is equal to 100. So basically 10 to the power 2 equals 100. We know that if we square 10, we get 100. And if we take the square root of 100, we get 10. So basically, the log of 100 with base 10 is equal to 2. You can use the calculator if you want to use it, but this is another way of solving the logarithm expression, using the exponent form. And here we have same thing, log of 125 with base 5. So basically it's saying what is the exponent of 5, that if we raise the 5 to that exponent, we get 125. That's what this means. So now we find the multiples of 5 that gets us to 125. So 5 times 5 is 25, and then another 5 would be 125. That's equal to 125. So 5 raised to the third power equals 125. So this thing right here is equal to then 3. Okay. Let's say if you don't know this right here, what would be the other way to solve this? Well, we switch the base to standard base 10. So that would be like, if we go here, we switch the log of 125 with base 10 and log of 5 with base 10. If we solve this right here, should get us 3 as well. So these are two different ways of solving it. This is, of course, using your calculator, and this is like, the exponent form, which is very handy, once you know about it. So hopefully it would help. This one, we're going to do the same thing, log of 81 with base 3. We're going to take basically 3 to the x equals 81, okay? We're raising the 3 to some power or exponent that gets us to 81. So now let's get the multiples of 3. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, times 3 equals 81. So this is equal to 81. So we have 4 multiples of 3. So we have 3 to the 4th equals 81. So here this expression is equal to then 4. Okay. So basically raising 3 to the 4th power would get us 81. So this would be the value of this log expression right here. Okay. And this one, same thing, log of 32 with base 2. So basically they're asking us what is the exponent of 2 that would get us to 32. So we start with 2, we find the multiples of 2, multiply them. 4, 8, 16, 32. So we have 5 of them. That equals 32. So 2 to the 5 equals 32. So this expression is equal to 5. So basically raising 2 to the 5th power is going to get us to 32. So the value of this log expression is 5. And of course the other way to do it is switching the base to 10. So log of 32 with base 10, log of 2 with base 10, and you can use your calculator to solve this. This should be 5. Okay, and remember, when we have a base 10, we don't need to write base 10 anymore, because this one is the same as log of 32 over log of 2. All right. Hopefully this helps, and I'll be making more detailed videos about the other laws of logarithms. This is just for basic understanding, like looking at the log expressions and how to read it and just simplifying it. So thank you for watching, and I'll be posting a lot more videos later on in different disciplines like mathematics, algebra, calculus, and statistics. Right. Hello. Hello.